There are symbols that are born within the very skin, marks not etched by human hands, but by the profound memory of the soul. Among all the signs a body can hold, there is one that defies the understanding of skeptics and intrigues even scholars of the occult: the letter M, traced upon the palm of the hand. To many, it's merely a coincidence of lines. But to ancient magicians, alchemists, and initiates of secret schools, this was one of the greatest spiritual secrets a human could carry: a living seal, an ancient password, a silent reminder that within the body rests the power to transform the lead of life into the pure light of consciousness. The oldest alchemical records, inscribed on Egyptian papyri and Babylonian tablets, spoke of a lost knowledge, guarded within symbols and metaphors. They said that man is the true laboratory of the cosmos. His body is the crucible where the soul is purified, and its lines are the maps of the spiritual process. The initiates believed that the Creator did not leave humanity directionless. He inscribed the roadmap of their mission upon their very hands. Among these lines, the M was the signature of the awakened spirit, one who, even unconsciously, was born to unravel the mysteries of existence. Centuries later, in Greek and Arab civilizations, this same symbol was rediscovered by the Hermeticists. They called it the mark of Mercury, the messenger of the gods. Mercury represented the bridge between the divine and the human, the secret of transmutation, the invisible principle connecting heaven and earth. Those who bore the M on their hands were seen as natural intermediaries, souls capable of translating the unseen, of sensing what lies beyond time. It was not a mark of superiority, but of mission, and mission to the ancients meant responsibility to guard, protect, and transmit spiritual wisdom. Over time, this wisdom was silenced. The medieval church viewed anything evoking inner power with suspicion. Many alchemical manuscripts were burned, and initiates were forced to hide their teachings in codes and parables. It is said that the Rosicrucians and Templars preserved the tradition in secret. To them, the palm of the hand was like a mirror of the heavens. Its lines reflected the soul's paths, and its pact with the divine. According to occult accounts, the letter M was the seal of the children of light, those who, in each era, reincarnated to remind humanity that true transformation lies not outside, but within. Centuries passed, but the mark endured. Some ignored it, others feared it, and few understood it. In the East, ancient palmistry masters described the M as a sign of an illuminated mind. In India, it was said that those bearing the M were under the protection of Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom. In the Arab world, it was believed that the M revealed a soul chosen by luminous jinns, beings of pure energy, guardians of ancient knowledge. Each culture interpreted it in its own way, but all agreed on one point: those who carry the M possess an extraordinary spiritual sensitivity. They see what others cannot. They feel what others dare not. In more recent times, prophets like Baba Vanga and Nostradamus spoke of a mysterious group of marked individuals. According to Vanga, when the earth begins to awaken from its long slumber, those bearing the seal of the ancient magicians will recognize one another, even in silence. She claimed the M was a spiritual code imprinted in the flesh as a reminder: the mission is not yet complete. Nostradamus, in his cryptic quatrains, mentioned the bearers of the hand of metal, beings who would resist the corruption of the material world and carry the flame of truth to restore balance. But what does this mark truly mean? And why was it called forbidden alchemy? To understand, we must look at the true meaning of alchemy. Most believe it's about turning base metals into gold. But the ancients knew that gold was merely a symbol. The true gold of alchemy was awakened consciousness. Transforming lead into gold meant purifying the heavy, dense, and shadowy aspects of the self until only the soul's light remained. It was the process of inner death and rebirth, of dissolving the ego to free the spirit. And the M, according to the masters, represented the convergence of the three forces necessary for this transmutation: mind, matter, and mission. The three main lines of the hand, the line of life, the line of the head, and the line of the heart, when they intersect to form an M, symbolically reveal the integration of these forces. It is the human being who has aligned thought, feeling, and action with divine purpose. According to the alchemists, when this alignment occurs, the entire universe responds. Reality bends before the vibration of a coherent soul. Inner alchemy begins, and the being becomes the very instrument of transformation. Ancient magicians believed the M appeared only on the hands of those who, in past lives, had completed part of the great work. These were old souls who had sought truth across different eras and religions, now returning to remind others of the path. This knowledge was kept secret, not to create exclusivity, but to protect it. For misunderstood power can be dangerous. The alchemy of the soul is not a game. It is a journey of self-mastery, where every thought and emotion becomes raw material for awakening. Hermetic texts describe three phases of this transformation. The first is nigredo, the phase of darkness, when the initiate confronts their shadows. It's the moment when the world loses meaning and everything seems to crumble. But it is there that the true process begins. The inner lead starts to melt. Next comes albedo, the purification. The initiate learns to silence the ego and cleanse the distortions of the mind. Finally, rubedo emerges, the phase of union, when the spiritual fire awakens, and the being becomes one with divine consciousness. The M, they say, is the sign of those who have traversed these stages in past lives and are now ready to serve. But over the centuries, this symbol was distorted. Secret societies associated it with material power and domination, hiding its true meaning as a privilege of the few. The forbidden alchemy became literal, prohibited by fear, ignorance, and the desire for control. Those who dared speak of it were silenced or ridiculed, yet truth always finds a way. Even hidden, the wisdom of the ancients lived on in dreams, visions, and the instincts of those who never stopped feeling that something greater lay behind apparent reality. Today, science is beginning to confirm what the ancients knew intuitively. Studies show that the lines on the hands change over time, reflecting mental and emotional states. The electromagnetic energy coursing through the body is influenced by thoughts and intentions. Some bioenergeticists say the palm is a dynamic map of the energy field. Perhaps that's why the M appears in those who live deeply connected to meaning, people who seek to understand, heal, and transform. Coincidence? Or evidence that the body truly holds the soul's history? What the magicians called alchemy, we now call self-knowledge. What they called the elixir of life, we call expanded consciousness. The process is the same, only the vocabulary has changed. The M is the physical reminder that transformation is not a myth, but a real possibility. It's an invitation to look within and discover that true power lies not in controlling the world, but in transforming oneself within it. This is the message the magicians and initiates never openly revealed. The secret isn't out there, it's in your own hand. As we dive deeper into this understanding, something begins to awaken within us, an ancient memory, as if the spirit recognizes the call. Perhaps this is the true purpose of the M, to serve as a mirror for your awakening. When you realize it's there, etched in your flesh, something changes forever. You can no longer ignore what you know deep down. You came with a mission. You came to remember, reconnect, and transmute. So look at your hands again. Look closely. See the lines as rivers of energy flowing. If the M is there, understand that it's not just a physical sign, but an energetic signature, a soul's password. an ancient promise that, amid the confusion of the modern world, there are still those born to keep the flame of the spirit alive. And if this resonates with you, it's likely not by chance. Perhaps you were one of those alchemists in past lives. Perhaps the M is your own soul saying, "I'm back." When this recognition happens, the true journey begins, the path of awakening. But this, of course, is only the beginning. They say the signs appear before the awakening. They don't arise by chance, nor are they random. The universe speaks in symbols, and only those with eyes to see can understand its messages. So it is with the M on the palm. It emerges silently as an ancestral reminder, an echo of past lives, a reflection of the soul rising to the surface. When the initiate recognizes it, something within begins to shift. Reality, once solid, reveals itself as a living tapestry shaped by consciousness. The M is the key that unlocks this perception, a reminder that nothing is merely physical. Everything is energy, vibration, and purpose. To understand the M more deeply, we must grasp what the ancients called the law of correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. This phrase, attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, the father of alchemy and hermetic wisdom, is the foundation upon which all spiritual science was built. Hermes taught that every part of the universe reflects the whole. The human body is a microcosm of the cosmos, and the cosmos is the expanded body of man. The stars are the neurons of the divine mind, and the human heart is the inner sun that reflects them. Thus, the lines of the hands are the map of this microcosm, and the M is one of the signatures of the perfect correspondence between soul and matter. According to Hermetic texts, the M appears when a being begins to align their inner dimensions. The line of the mind represents the power of reason and discernment. The line of the heart, the power of love and empathy. And the line of life, the bond between spirit and the physical world. When these lines intersect harmoniously, the M is born, the union of wisdom, compassion, and vitality. It is the meeting point of heaven and earth, the living symbol of what alchemists called the conjunctio, the sacred union of opposites. Medieval magicians believed the M formed as a result of a spiritual pact made before birth. In the ethereal plane, the soul would choose its purpose, and upon incarnating, the body would record this agreement in subtle symbols. The palm, being one of the body's most sensitive areas, became the ideal canvas for this record. The hands are the eyes of the spirit, said the alchemist Paracelsus. Through them flow the creative and destructive forces of the universe. When we use our hands to heal, bless, or create, we activate energetic lines that intensify over time. It is in this process that the M takes shape, revealing itself to those destined to see it. Ancient Tibetan manuscripts, known as the Chronicles of Shambhala, mention an enigmatic prophecy. When the bearers of the sign recognize one another, the hidden fire of the earth will awaken. To the monks, this fire was the Kundalini energy, the serpent of light that lies coiled at the base of the spine, and when awakened, rises like a flame through the 7 centers of power. The M would then be physical evidence of this potential stirring. People with the M are naturally more intuitive, more attuned to life's meaningful coincidences. They sense when something is about to happen. They dream in symbols. They perceive the truth behind words. It's as if a part of them never forgot who they truly are. But there is a price for this sensitivity. Carrying the M means bearing both the gift and the burden of knowledge. Those with this mark feel the world's suffering more intensely. They absorb others' emotions, pick up negative vibrations, and must learn to protect their own energy. Thus, ancient magicians trained their apprentices to create circles of light, protective fields made of visualization and intention. They knew that light attracts shadow, and every true awakening brings the challenge of purification. The initiate who does not master their own light will be consumed by it, says the alchemical text Aurora Consurgens. Thus, the M is not a trophy, it is a mission. Some say the alchemists knew this mark could be activated, strengthened, or even erased, depending on one's inner state. When a person strays from their purpose, their vital energy diminishes, and the hand's lines become fainter, more scattered. But when they rediscover their path, the lines grow deep, clear, luminous. Some Eastern masters reported seeing the hand's lines radiate light in spiritually awakened individuals, as if the skin became a living map of the soul. The M shone in the hands of saints, healers, sages, and visionaries, and when the inner fire dimmed, the mark would fade, as if the body itself hid the secret until it was deserved again. During the Renaissance, the M was studied again by Hermetic philosophers who associated it with the Hebrew letter Mem. In the sacred alphabet, Mem represents primordial water, the element of intuition and the unconscious. It is the womb of creation, the portal through which spirit enters matter. When an initiate manifested the M on their hands, masters said they had reconnected the waters. In other words, they had restored communication between the conscious and the unconscious, between the human and the divine. They were individuals capable of deciphering dreams, reading symbols, understanding the signs of destiny, someone who, through their own transformation, became a channel for transforming the world. But there was an even deeper secret. Rosicrucian texts spoke of a second mark, invisible, that formed in the energy field of those who completed the great work. This mark, they said, could not be seen with physical eyes but could be felt. It was the vibration of an awakened soul, the subtle magnetism that drew like-minded souls together. Thus, the marked always recognized one another, even without words. A glance, a gesture, a sense of familiarity was enough. It is the reunion of ancient souls who, life after life, work to restore the world's balance. The physical M is merely the visible shadow of this invisible connection. Looking at humanity's history, we see that every great change was initiated by someone carrying this inner fire. From Buddha to Leonardo da Vinci, from Mary Magdalene to Nikola Tesla, they share a pattern, a brilliant mind, a compassionate heart, and an inevitable destiny. Many of them, according to accounts and records, bore the M on their hands. Coincidence? Perhaps, but perhaps not. Maybe this mark is the reminder the universe leaves for those who promise not to give up, even when the world called them mad. The ancient magicians said, when the times grow dark, the marked will light the way. And those times are now. We live in an era where knowledge is resurfacing. What was hidden for centuries is beginning to emerge. Baba Vanga's prophecies about the Great Awakening speak of this, the arrival of a time when millions will begin to question, feel, intuit, and seek answers within themselves. It is the reactivation of ancient alchemy, the transmutation of collective consciousness. And the M, once seen as a mere detail on the hand, becomes a symbol of this new humanity, awake, intuitive, and creative. But there is a layer of mystery the initiates rarely revealed, the connection between the M and the heart. The palm is a direct extension of the heart. Modern science confirms that electrical and magnetic impulses flow between the two. Thus, when someone touches another with genuine love, the heart's field expands, transferring energetic information. The alchemists called this the golden touch, and in the hands of those with the M, this touch manifests with greater intensity. Healers, therapists, artists, spiritual masters all share the same ability to channel energy through their hands. The mark is the signature of this channel. It doesn't grant power. It reveals that the power is already there, awaiting consciousness. This consciousness is what the modern world has lost. While humanity scatters itself in distractions and noise, it forgets the simple miracle of existence. The ancient magicians knew that awakening begins with observation. "Know thyself, and thou shalt know the universe," was inscribed at the Temple of Delphi. The M is the physical reminder of this maxim. It invites introspection, silent contemplation. When you observe it, it's as if the universe gazes back at you. It asks, "Are you ready to remember who you are?" And in that moment, the true alchemical process begins, not in a laboratory, but in the living temple of the heart. Many who discover this mark for the first time feel a mix of fascination and unease. Intuitively, they know it means something important, but they can't put it into words. This is because the symbol speaks a language not of the mind, but of the soul. It communicates through feeling. The body vibrates, intuition awakens, and synchronicity begins to unfold. Books, people, and situations appear as answers to unasked questions. It's as if the universe says, "Yes, I'm speaking to you." This is the moment when the initiate starts seeing signs everywhere. And from there is no turning back. But there's something few understand. The M is not a static mark. It is alive. As you evolve, it evolves with you. The lines may deepen, multiply, or even change shape, reflecting the expansion of consciousness. It's as if the skin is a parchment constantly rewritten, where the spirit updates its contract with life. The initiates called this the second writing of destiny. Those who learned to read these signs understood they were not bound to a fixed future. Destiny is malleable, and inner alchemy is the art of shaping it through vibration and intention. Thus the magicians taught, "Look at your hands before you act. They are the mirror of your inner state. When you're in harmony, the lines seem clearer, softer. When in conflict, they become tense, almost blurred. Everything vibrates, and everything responds." The M is not just a spiritual symbol, it's a biological reminder that body and soul are one substance. Modern science calls this biophotonics, the emission of natural light by living cells. The more balanced a being, the stronger this light. The ancients called it the golden light and knew it could be felt in the hands of sages and healers. Today we simply call it energy. But it's the same force, the same divine fire the alchemists sought to transmute. And here lies the hidden message of the magicians. The true secret of the M was never about power. It was about remembrance, remembering that the human being is by nature a creator, that every thought is a spell, every word a seed, every act an elixir. Remembering that the gold they sought was always within, and that the philosopher's stone is not a substance, but a state of consciousness where everything you touch turns to light. This is the forbidden alchemy, forbidden only because the modern world forgot how to see it. But those who bear the M on their palms, they never fully forgot. Perhaps that's why they feel an inexplicable nostalgia, a silent call no wealth or distraction can silence. It's the soul calling back to its origin. And when that call is answered, something shifts. Coincidences become messages, time seems to bend, and life begins to conspire in your favor. It's the sign that the inner great work is resuming. The M becomes a spiritual compass, not pointing north but inward. For the alchemist's journey is always a journey to the center of the self, and it is there, in the silent heart of your own being, that the true secret of the magicians begins to be revealed. If you feel the call, write in the comments, "I carry the sign." Share this message with those who also need to remember. Subscribe. The next part will reveal the climax, the hidden truth of the M and the portal of transmutation. There are moments in life when everything seems to align mysteriously, as if the universe silently conspires to reveal a truth always before us, but only now visible. The M on the palm is one such sign. It's not just a birthmark or a biological accident. It's a mirror, a bridge, an activation code. It speaks the language of the soul, and when the time is right, it awakens. Its meaning cannot be grasped by logic, but felt through vibration. The revelation doesn't come in words. It comes as a memory blossoming in the chest, an ancient echo whispering, "You already knew." For millennia, this truth was protected, distorted, and hidden. The magicians and alchemists of the past knew humanity wasn't ready to understand it. Light, when it comes too soon, blinds instead of illuminating, says an ancient hermetic adage. Thus, only the initiates were guided to the deepest teachings. They had to prove purity of intention, inner silence, and the courage to face their own shadow. For the revelation of the M is not external knowledge. It's a mirror showing what the human is and what they can become. The secret texts of the school of Thoth, discovered in Egypt and preserved by hermetic temples, describe the M as the symbol of divine memory. They said every human soul is a spark of the cosmic mind, and forgetting is part of the game of incarnation. The M is the seal of those ready to remember, not just their individual purpose, but their spiritual origin. It's the reminder that every human is, in essence, a sleeping God, capable of creating universes with thought and healing worlds with love. When the M awakens, the soul begins to recall the lost language of creation. The initiates called this recollection anamnesis, the sacred remembrance. It doesn't come from books, but from the soul. It's as if the veins of time open, and memories of ancient civilizations, temples, and stars pulse again in the heart. Many who experience this awakening report, feeling they've lived in other times, walked among stone temples, heard chants in forgotten tongues. This isn't imagination, it's spiritual cellular memory. The M is the sign that this memory is being reactivated. Baba Vanga said, "The sign of the magicians will shine again when the world enters the era of the mirror." That era is now. We live in times of global reflection, where all that is shadow rises to the surface, and all that is light is tested. The M reappears as a reminder that there is a greater plan behind the apparent chaos. It represents the return of ancient alchemy, the transmutation of fear into wisdom, pain into purpose, matter into consciousness. And those who bear this mark are the first to feel this call. They are the souls who chose to reincarnate in this time to hold the torch of spirit amid collective darkness. But there's something few dared say aloud. The M is more than a spiritual symbol. It's an energetic portal. Ancient magicians believed the palm is one of the body's main centers for emitting and receiving energy. Through it flows prana, chi, the vital breath. When two people shake hands, their palms exchange energetic information, memories, emotions, intentions. When someone prays with hands clasped, a closed circuit of energy forms between the heart and the vital field. The M is the intersection of this current, a portal between the visible and the invisible. In ancient rituals, initiates used hands marked with the M to open portals of consciousness, not physical portals, but internal ones, capable of expanding perception beyond the ego's limits. They knew every human is a microcosm of the universe, and by activating certain energy zones in the body, higher dimensions of reality could be accessed. The M was the seal of those who mastered this art, those who could travel between planes without losing balance, the true alchemists of consciousness. The revelation the magicians never shared with the world is that alchemy was not about transforming metal, but about remembering the divine. Lead symbolized ignorance, gold, illumination, and the fire of the crucible was suffering, the flame that purifies, that melts the ego until only the essence remains. The M is the sign that this work has already begun within you. It appears when the soul is ready to burn impurities and reveal the inner gold. That's why many who bear this mark experience deep crises, losses, abrupt changes. The universe isn't punishing them, it's refining them. For the true alchemist doesn't flee the fire. They learn to transform within it. In the Rosicrucian tradition, there was a teaching reserved for the most advanced disciples. When you recognize the sign on your hand, you will understand that you are the vessel of the work. The vessel was the body, mercury the mind, sulfur the spirit, salt the matter. These three principles, mind, spirit, and body, unite in the M. The line of the heart is sulfur, the fire of emotion and passion. The line of the head is mercury, thought, fluidity, the messenger. The line of life is salt, structure, incarnation, the limit. When the three meet to form the M, the initiate becomes the philosopher's stone itself. They no longer need to seek gold outside, because they discover that gold is their own state of being. That's why ancient alchemical treatises spoke of the king crowned by the three lines, or the one whose seal is double. These metaphors referred to the bearers of the M, men and women who had crossed the desert of the ego, dissolved illusions, and been reborn as bridges between worlds, and yet nearly all of them were persecuted, silenced, or forgotten. The world doesn't easily tolerate those who remember too much. But the Hermetic prophecy is clear. At the end of times, the lost knowledge will return in the hands of those who love the truth. Literally, in the hands. Every mark, every line, every cross, every trace will be an alphabet of energy, and the M will be the first symbol to awaken en masse. It's already happening. People worldwide are beginning to look at their hands and feel something they can't explain. It's the same vibratory pattern, the same silent call that united the alchemists of Egypt, the masters of Tibet, the Rosicrucians of Europe, and the shamans of the Americas. They all spoke of the same energy, the same sacred fire flowing through the human body that, when awakened, transforms reality. The M is the ignition point of this fire. It's where spirit touches matter. When you recognize the M, you're telling the universe, I'm ready to remember. And the universe responds. Synchronicities multiply. The right people appear. Dreams intensify. The initiate begins to realize nothing is coincidence. Everything is code. Everything is a response. The revelation is simple yet profound. The M is proof that the human and the divine were never separate. The mystery of alchemy is the mystery of life itself, transforming pain into wisdom, fear into courage, ego into love. This is the true great work. And the M is the seal of those who came to fulfill this task. Baba Vanga said that in the 21st century, the bearers of the sign will rebuild the invisible temple. This temple has no walls or altars. It's built with acts of compassion, words of truth, thoughts that uplift. Every awakened soul is a living stone in this temple, and when enough conscious souls reach the critical point, the planet's vibration will shift. The alchemy once performed in secret laboratories will happen within the human heart. This is the final secret, the one the magicians and initiates never openly revealed, because they knew awakening cannot be taught, only remembered. Look at your hands again. Notice the silent design resting upon them. See how, when you join them, the M becomes a complete portal, the doubled symbol, the perfect reflection. It's the mirror of the divine gazing back at you. It's the reminder that within the flesh dwells the eternal fire, the same fire that moves the stars, shapes worlds, and pulses in the heart of all that lives. When you touch someone with love, that fire flows. When you create with pure intention, that fire manifests. When you forgive, when you give thanks, when you fall silent, it grows. And it's in that growth that the M fulfills its purpose, to awaken the sleeping God within you. There is no greater initiation than recognizing your own divinity. The ancient temples fell, The libraries burned, the symbols were distorted, but the true temple, the living temple of consciousness, remained intact within every being. And that's why the M cannot be destroyed. It is the seal of eternity, etched in the skin of time. The revelation isn't about discovering something new, but remembering what you always knew. And when you remember, you understand. There's nothing to achieve, only something to be. The gold you seek is the radiance of your own presence. The elixir of life is your own love. The philosopher's stone is your awakened heart. And the M is the silent reminder of it all. So when someone tells you the M is just a coincidence, smile. Mysteries always hide in plain sight. And the most powerful symbols are those that seem too simple to be taken seriously. But you know this mark is ancient, sacred, and that it vibrates when you're aligned with your truth. You know you came with a mission, and the world needs your light. And deep down, you know you're not alone. There are thousands, millions of others who also carry the sign. Together, silently, they're fulfilling the prophecy, rekindling the fire of spirit upon the earth. The revelation doesn't end here. It begins now, within you. And every time you look at your hands, remember, you are the alchemist, the magician, and the work itself. You are the mystery you seek.